Hello, how are you doing? This is Teshwa Jawana here, and thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you for subscribing on my YouTube channel, and thank you for following me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I do appreciate you, and I do not take you for granted. So guys, you know, questions can be very many, sometimes, and the only easier way to answer them is through, content creation, just to make a video or something. So but this one is my own opinion. You know, people have asked me what is HCA, what is domiciliary, and so on, yeah? So, in any case, if there's something I would like you to avoid, then it is domiciliary. If you are able to avoid domiciliary care, please avoid domiciliary care, and that is for the, international workers coming to the UK. And I'll give you, this is basically, this is through my research, this is through my observation, and through self-lived experience. And that is why I'm telling you this. However, this is my opinion. However, if you feel it's still your thing to do, please go ahead and do it. So, the reason why I would say please avoid at all cost, avoid domiciliary care at all cost, is because they require driving license before they employ you. And I know most of you get the driving license, but you get driving license last minute. What I mean is you go for driving school prior you coming, but the main aim for you to get the driving license is for you to be able to get the job. However, you do not have driving experience, even in your own home country. So chances are you will come and you really struggle because it is door to door. Domiciliary is door to door. Yeah? So if you do not have good experience of driving and then you're coming to drive in the UK from one client to another, I myself, having drove here for years, it was a nightmare because I could not find some addresses. Yeah? And so you find if you're lost or something, it goes over your expected time to finish, which you might not be, you most likely, no employer will pay you. Another thing is that you work long hours. You might start some minutes to 7 or 7 and you finish at 10. However, in between, there is a break, like a 2 hours, 3 hours break. Like after lunch, there is a break, and then you carry on from around 4, depending on your company. You carry on from 4. That means this break that is in between, you are not paid. Yeah, so you go and do now the night or the late shift, which is to give a late afternoon medication, making tea, putting people to bed, and so on and so forth. Remember, all this you are doing door to door, so you have the amount of clients you have been allocated. My challenge with this was, remember, UK by 4, and by now we are going to talk about this Sunday time changes. So from 4 onwards, it will start getting dark. So it gets dark very early. Yeah, it gets dark early. So you can imagine you're going for your next shift at 4. It's already dark. Yeah, and then of course, if you're not good at driving, that's a challenge. It's cold. It's, let me tell you, some months like December, January, they are cold. Yeah. So anyway, so my first point was because of driving, that's a challenge. My second was it's long hours that you are not paid for. Remember, you're going to start to work at 7 and you will finish at 10 at night. And in between, there is a 2 to 3 hour break, which is like a lunch break before you start your shift again, the evening one, which you are not paid. So you will be out for like 14 hours, but if you will find like you're probably being paid for 8 hours or so. I hope we're together. So that is why, at all costs, if you want, avoid domiciliary. Another thing I noticed when I first did domiciliary care is I realized that some people do not like some, I want to put it in a better way. Some people don't like people of my color in their house, unfortunately. So you will find like there, it's even different. You know, in a care home, you will face some of the behaviors, but you know, you are covered, you have other people. Some people might hear or might actually know that client is like this and this and this, and they will actually not let you go in alone, or you feel covered, you feel safe. In this instance, you're the one that is going to the client house. So I found there was a client that actually made me realize that this is not my kind of job, because I'm coming to help. Why should I be abused in someone's house? Yeah, remember, sometimes unless you are in the mercy of the company, because it's your word against the client. The client might decide to say something not very good. And the kind of work we do is very vulnerable. So if a client raises a concern, you can imagine it's their word against yours until it's proven, you know, you are not guilty. So you are working in a vulnerable position. That is what I'm trying to say. Another thing I would like to say is you have a risk of you are relying for a car to be able to go to work. So unfortunately, I have seen some companies that brought people, actually forcing them, because they took some cars that, you know, the small cars that to do the runs. However, some companies, after some time, they were forcing their their employees to buy those cars, forcing them. And if you don't do it, then what happens is you won't have a car to go to work. Am I making sense? So if you are going to pay 500,000 Kenyan shillings, or let's say 3,000 pounds, 4,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds for a domiciliary COS, or for a domiciliary, I'm saying this because I know people are paying, but it's not the right procedure. But if you're gonna pay that much to come and work as a domiciliary care, you might as well look for something better you can do with your life, because most of the people that came with the health and care workers visa as domiciliary are the people that have actually really struggled in the UK. So, you know, this is my opinion, and I insist it's my opinion on experience and observation. So if you still feel this is your thing, go ahead, but at least you know what you might experience during your work. And I would also like to say that it's good if you know your health condition, if you have any underlying conditions, because at the end of the day, this is not a job that, you know, if you were coming to work in a healthcare, in a care setting, care as a healthcare assistant, the only thing you know is I will wake up, get ready, drive to work. That's me for 12 hours in there doing my work, take my car, drive home. In this case, UK can get very cold, like I said, and if you have underlying condition, it might not be the best job for you, because remember, you drive maybe for 15 minutes, go to your client, finish, you're out again, you go to your other client, finish, you go. And for people that don't like driving like me, then one, you get tired of driving even more than the care itself. And then, of course, you are exposed more outside in cold. Some people that are being they have complained to me, and they're saying instead of being taken back home for the 2-3 hours by their employers, what the employers are doing now, they're just leaving them in a town to stay there, do their own thing for 3 hours. Can you imagine if you're being done like that when it's winter? That will be a struggle if you have any underlying condition. So guys, I hope you've learned something, and until next time, please take care and make wise decisions.